This video is already way too long. There's no time for my random stream of consciousness. I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, and we are here for 365 days of soap. Now today we're going to be making the May Birthstone soap, which is the emerald soap, and it is beautiful. It is amazing. It is a 3-day process to make this soap, so it's kind of annoying. But with this, you get the emeralds, you get the awesome soap, which has like top notes of citrus, and the grounding is rose. It's very lovely. And you get to watch Mrs. Soap and Clay do 2 things that she really hates. Layered soaps. Not my most fun. And 2, mica lines. Neither one of these techniques are ones that I'm immediately drawn to because I don't really have the patience to allow layered soaps to set up, nor have I really figured out the foolproof way to do a mica line. But that's what we're doing today, so let's go see how much I messed it up.
Oh my god, this is like a really long video, and I would apologize for it, but it's a cool video, and there's a lot going on. And I promised in the April Birthstone video that I would show you guys how we actually make the gemstone toppers for this and do it in cold process this time, because last time we did it in melt and pour. So that's what's going on here, and I'm going to zoom through it, right? And so you're going to see just a little piece of the puzzle here. So we make a batch of cold process soap, and I am coloring it 3 different colors. So we've got the emerald color, because May's birthstone is an emerald, and I should have led with that, but cool. And I also wanted to get the sort of veins of like gold and black throughout the emeralds themselves to give the green color some cool depth. And really the reason that I included the gold was because gold looks amazing with emerald, right? And I very rarely use gold in anything in my line because I'm not a big gold person. I prefer the silver, the cooler tones, but this gave me an opportunity to do the thing. And obviously the black, the activated charcoal, that's going to go through the emerald to give again some different color variation throughout the stone. And so what I'm then going to do is I'm going to do an in the pot swirl with just this little teeny tiny batch of soap, and put the black and the gold into the green and give it a quick swirl, and then put it into the gemstone molds that we have. And in an effort to really sort of speed up this video so it wasn't a million years long, because the pour itself, this step is one thing, and that has to sort of sit up overnight before we can use the gemstones. But then you have the multi-layered pour. We're doing a sort of a chunky ombre, a layered ombre, with the actual pour of the main body of the soap. And I really tried to speed this up for time purposes, but I'm hoping it's not so fast that it's going to render weird on your end. And I guess we'll find out when I publish it, and this might just be the weirdest video ever. Anyway, and in the pot swirl, there it is. It's the thing, and see how pretty it is coming out of the container there into the molds. Oh god, it's so lovely. I love that. I love swirls. Swirls are just so beautiful and so satisfying, and one of those things that you can do in like with one pot and 30 minutes or less, and you're not having to wait for layers to set up, which is not the case for the rest of this soap, because it's definitely it's a layered pour. It's 4 layers, I think, and mica lines. It's a lot. There's a lot going on in the main body of the soap. But for these guys, yeah, we're doing just a standard batch of, you know, cold processed soap, little teeny tiny batch, and we are going to let those set up overnight. Unfortunately, this ends up being like a 3-day process when it's all said and done to make this one soap, and so that can be a bit annoying, but it's cool. Like, the finished product is pretty, hopefully. I don't know, this is literally the first time I've ever done it, so you're gonna find out with me whether or not it's pretty. And yeah, so there are the beautiful gemstones all ready to go. It's day 2 and they're pretty. They look so lovely. I love the depth and the difference in colors and everything. Now for the pour, we are doing 4 colors. It's a 4-color layered soap. And I hate layers. I'm not a patient person, and layers require patience or taking the stick blender back to things, and I don't like doing that either. So the base layer of this is going to be the darkest emerald, right? And then we're going to gradually go up, and so the top of it will be white, and then in between each layer we're going to do a mica line with a king's gold, and give the, you know, different layers some sort of definition, some like pointiness on them, so they're not fully flat layers, which I like, so because I don't have to get them flat, which is good. And as a result, every single little piece of the soap batter, every single area is going to be individually scented as we move through it. Oh, hey, look at that. That's not working out. And so I took a stick blender to it. That's amazing. I never do that. I never put my stick blender back into the soap. I must really be trying to impress you. And yeah, it's all thickened up reasonably well, and we are ready for the pour. So yeah, the pour of the May Birthstone soap, the Emerald soap, it is again a 4-tiered pour. So 4 layers, going from dark green to mid green to light green to white. And between each layer, we will be sort of sculpting the tops and covering it with a gold mica, and then, you know, pouring the next layer on top. And that is very time consuming because you need the bottom layer to set up before you put the next one on, and then you have to spray the mica, and that takes some time. And yeah, it's all a thing. This is actually this bar, it takes a while to make when it's all said and done, but you know, the hope is it's going to be stunning and awesome, and it will be worth all of the extra time that this takes, really. But the cool thing is, while this is all setting up in the mold itself, the batter in the big container is also firming up, and that can be a good thing and a bad thing, because good thing is that's good because we need it to, you know, cure up a little bit more in the mold before we can put the next layer on so they can all be suspended. But the bad thing is it's not a lot of fun to work with really thick batter. So that's why it's cool that we are scenting each individual portion, because you're putting a little bit more liquid in there and sort of loosening up the batter long enough to pour it again, which is good. Now, speaking of the scent in this is a very complex one that we have going on with this guy. So this is a blend of grapefruit, clary sage, rose, lime, and neroli. And so the top notes, like the first smell you get, it's going to be very citrusy, and then when it finishes, it has a nice rose blend to it. And the reason that I did that for this soap is because I have somebody with a May birthstone in my life, and she is actually one of my soap apprentices, and she is amazing, and I love her, and she's great. And she loves, loves, loves the rose and violet blend that we do for the Taurus bar, which is also, you know, her bar, because she was born in May and she has a Taurus birthday in May. And so I thought I really wanted a nice, you know, dry down of a rose in all of this too. And so I used this blend, which is, again, it's a very complex blend, but very delightful. I think it's going to be a really good... It's going to be very well received, I think, for people born in May. I think they'll appreciate the blend because it's very sort of regal, right? And, you know, like fancy, but not overly sophisticated. And I think that's true of, you know, everybody that I know, at least, that's born in May. Now, this is the second layer that we are putting down. So we have our mid-green, and you saw all the spritzing with the thing, with the micas, and that thing's annoying. And I'm trying it this way. I have not had luck with the little spritzers to this point, and it just feels like I put a whole bunch of micas in and didn't actually achieve a mica line with little spritzers in the past. But I thought for the video, I'm going to try it again. I'm going to see if it actually works, and maybe I'm doing it wrong and I'm not putting enough down and I need to stop being so stingy with my micas, and we'll see. And I mean, if it turns out that the mica lines are not there when it's all said and done, well, then you'll know. Don't use the stupid spritzers, and just, you know, get yourself one of the little powdered sugar sifters, and that's a much better way to put a mica line down. And now we're moving on to the third green color. So we only have 2 more layers left, guys. It's amazing. And that one is a very bright green in its form here. But because of 2 things. A, because there is bentonite clay in this guy, and there's bentonite clay in all of the greens, actually. And 2, just because the nature of this particular mica, it will actually morph into a much more muted and pale green. And so I do still want there to be definition between this top, you know, green color and the white that goes above it. And I'm hoping that this saturation point will accomplish that. And, you know, we'll find out after cure and cut, see if I actually got 4 proper layers and not, you know, 2 greens and then half the bar is white. We'll see. Now, the May Birthstone soap. This is actually pretty cool. I put a lot of research into this. This is what we do. We put a lot of research into all the products that we're doing that are like themed, you know? So in some cases it's very easy for me. I don't really need to do a lot of research, like for the Game of Thrones soaps or the Harry Potter inspired soaps. I don't need to research much because I know that fandom in and out. And you know, I thought I knew a lot about astrology until I started doing the zodiac soaps, and I learned so much more about the zodiac than I'd ever known before. And I think that's probably because I'm a Gemini, and I know a lot about myself and not other people, really, because I'm a Gemini. Yeah, anyway, so we learned tons of stuff about, you know, emeralds in general through this process, because when we do a themed pour, when we do a themed soap, we want to do the research and make sure that we know all there is to know about the thing that we're theming around, so we can let that information sort of guide our pours. Now, so this was one of the reasons why I decided to go with an ombre pour for this guy, because the emeralds, interestingly, they are not always that really dark, beautiful, you know, Wizard of Oz, Emerald City green, right? They can be very, very light in color, and they can also be red, but I didn't really want to play with that for this. But yeah, so I thought it would be cool to sort of show the different variations that, you know, of colors that emeralds can be. And yeah, so that was one of the reasons we did the ombre. And we also, you know, found some cool information about emeralds, which, I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? Because emeralds are believed to have the same qualities as, like, you know, Venus, the goddess of, like, love and beauty and awesomeness. And that makes sense because Venus is the ruling planet of, you know, Taurus, and Taurus is the majority of May. And so it all thematically, it wasn't like accidental, right, that this became the birthstone for me. But emeralds apparently are super duper rare, and I didn't know that. That was brand new information to me. I had no idea that emeralds were considered really extremely rare, and that was kind of cool and kind of fit into this design of this soap, because it is also rare that I spend this much time on a soap. So thematically, it's all working out, right? And you know, as far as like the, you know, healing characteristics or whatever stones go, I don't know. My healing stone is not my birthstone. I'm born in June. My birthstone is a pearl, but my healing stone is an amethyst. And because that's the stone that grounds me. But for an emerald, like it's kind of cool the grounding that it does for, you know, people born in May or people who are, you know, drawn to the emerald, I suppose, in that it really does help out with the grounding and certain health problems, as well as like nightmares and like insomnia and stuff, which is actually kind of fitting for the person that I know who was born in May, because she definitely has a very interesting sleep schedule, and she can have some weird dreams. We've talked about some very weird dreams. And yeah, so I thought that was very cool. That has nothing whatsoever to do with the design, because how do I exactly put that in? Unless this ends up being like a really weird, you know, pour and cut and it all looks terrible and it just, you know, it just resembles an awful fever dream or something. But yeah, no, didn't have anything to do with the pour. I just found it interesting that, you know, it can ward off insomnia and nightmares. That's cool. So for people that have those issues, consider getting yourself some emeralds, or, you know, some emerald soap. Now, I've just been chit-chatting throughout this entire thing because I've been really not wanting to focus on how unbelievably miserable this pour is. Like, look at this. Look at all of these different lines. And look how messy the entire thing is. This is one of the reasons I hate layered soaps. I mean, there are 75 reasons why I hate layered soaps, but the mess is certainly one of them. Like, it's a lot. There's every single surface that you touch, every single finger on your gloves, every single handle on your, you know, utensils, it all has the, you know, the lye heavy soap batter on it at the end of a layered pour like this, because you can't help but get it all over everything, and that's not fun. But look at that, I'm at the end of 4 layers. It's awesome, and I'm gonna cry if I cut into this thing and it sucks, but it's not gonna, it's gonna be great. And the final step is to put the beautiful emerald gemstones on the top, which are, you know, legitimately beautiful. I love those. And I am putting them on one side of the mold to start out with, just in 2s, because I sort of eyeballed how many, oh, see, oh, you're so pretty, you're lovely. I sort of eyeballed how many we needed for the mold, and then realized that maybe I don't have enough. So I want to make sure I get at least 2 on, and I thought it could be cool to have one side of the soap, right, without gemstones, and just have the pretty gold mica sort of showing up throughout the bar on just one side, and we'll play with that. But ultimately, I ended up having enough gemstones to make the 3rd row of the stones on the tops of the soaps for a while, and I think I'm going to be like 2 or 3 short, and that's cool because we'll get to see which one we like better, whether it's going to be, you know, the one with 3 across, or with some cool like textured top gold thing at the end. And we will find that out after we cure this up and cut it tomorrow. Okay, it is time for the cut. Now, I've already cut them up for you because Mr. Soap and Clay's, you know, cutter, it's silting. And oh my god, look at that. It's so pretty. Do you see that? Oh yeah, with the black lines inside the emeralds. Now, those 2 bars are the ones that I didn't have enough emeralds to go, you know, across the entire top of the soap. And I think looking at those, oh, but look at that cragginess on the other side. That was so pretty. I think looking at those, I am probably going to prefer the emeralds going across the entire top. But, you know, you let me know in the comments which one you prefer. And I love the ombre there. It's super beautiful. And I love like the craggy lines. This is really the only way I really like doing thin lines pours, right? Is when you can not have to do a completely perfect straight line, because I don't have time for that. But these are gorgeous. There's such beautiful variation between the 3 greens. And then the white on top, coupled with those emeralds on the super top of the bar. That's That's lovely. It's such a nice bar. I really do love that. I am very happy with the way that this one turned out for the May Birthstone. I think it's very fitting. And the reason I think it's very fitting is because, you know, the person I know that's born in May, like my favorite person that's born in May, she's very like into growing things and doing all of that. And so this is good. But yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with this bar. That's just beautiful. The smell is really good too. I love the scent of this, and I will have to wait for a little bit to test it, but you know, I've used this blend before as far as the oils go, so I know it's going to be a really big bubble lather. But yeah, no, that's a nice bar soap. Look at that. I didn't mess something up. That's so nice. Oh yeah, it's so pretty. Yeah. It kind of makes me wish I was born in May. I was not born in May. I was born in June, which of course means the Pearl, you know, Birthstone soap is going to be extraordinary because, you know, it's mine. But yeah, there is the May Birthstone soap, the Emerald, and it's super fancy and smells super, you know, like really complex and awesome, and I love that. It's got the top notes of orange and then the rose finish, and it's beautiful. Thanks so much for hanging out with us for day 20 of 365.
So I gotta say, even though it was a 3-day process to make this bar, it was completely worth it. I love everything about the emeralds on top with the cool, like the black lines going through them and everything. I love the layered design. It looked really great. I am still not sold on mica lines, though. It seemed like a lot of work and a lot of unnecessary, you know, volume of mica going through the air like crazy for just this little teeny tiny hint of gold. So I might leave it out for the next one. I might try a different way of actually putting the mica on. I don't know. But as far as this particular bar goes, I love it. I think it's a slam dunk, and I'm really excited to add it to the line. Now, if you're interested in the May Birthstone soaps, you can find it at soapandclay.com. You can find me on all social media. So that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm never on Twitter, but, you know, I'm there. So yeah, thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me today. It is day 20 of 365 days of soap, which means we've made it almost 3 full weeks. I can't believe it. I'm glad you're still here. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. It really does help out the channel and the business and all of the things. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.